Hi everyone. A long time ago, I started out on a camera crew, of which one of my jobs that I had was as a focus puller. And as the name suggests, it was to keep things in focus. And if it was film particularly, had to measure it out. The lenses were very precise. I had the measurements on the barrel of the lens and I had to dial them in. Focus pulling is when you're changing the focus. So if someone was moving, you would have to change it and you would put marks on the lens showing where they were, or you might be moving it from one subject to another so as to draw attention to it. Much in the same way that if you're doing photography, you might use a shallow depth of field to get a blurred background, get that bokeh, nice shallow depth of field there, and that helps you focus in on the subject that you want your audience to look at. Well, in film and video, you can actually change the focus, which you can't do in the same way in photography. And today, this has been made much simpler by the cameras themselves having good autofocus systems and being able to select what you want in focus. Now, on this camera, this is the EOS R5 Mark II, and this works across all of the R series cameras, and I'm sure similar on things like Sony, Nikon, Fuji, and so on. So what I'm going to do here is show you how it works on here, because one of the key things you want to do is be able to potentially change the speed at which it changes focus. If you're filming a conference or something moving fast, maybe action sports and things like that, you want that focus to change really quickly. If you want something a bit more cinematic, you might want it to be a bit slower. And you might want it really slow, or you might want it, well, maybe just something else, maybe something in between. So a wedding, it could look really nice going from one subject to another as well. So what I've got is the camera here. Okay, so as you can see, the brownie is in focus here. I've actually got this set to change focus really quickly. So I'm just going to change it to that other vintage camera just by tapping on the screen. You can see that it did it quickly. Let's go back to the brownie and to that again, and I can come back to the brownie and back to the book in the background there. Okay, what if I want to change the speed of this? Well, it's quite straightforward. I just go into the menu. I'm in the AF menu. I'm on the movie servo AF speed. You can see it says +2. Let's go into that. +2 is the fastest, so I can take this down. Let's go all the way down to here to -7, and let's see what happens there. So just press the menu to come out. Now I'm going to go back to the brownie just by tapping on the screen here. There you go. And can you see that was just that bit longer? Let's go back to the book in the background there. And you can see it's got this nice slow focusing there. And you'll see it again if I come back over here. There you go. So that looks quite nice. And you could choose what you want, maybe somewhere in the middle. So one of the other things I could do is maybe make the whole lot out of focus and then bring it into focus. And you can see here in the bottom left-hand corner, it says servo AF there. I'm just going to tap on that. That pauses the servo. So what I can then do is, using the focusing ring, just move it right out of focus. I'm changing that on the barrel of the lens here, which you can't actually see me doing that. That's really out of focus. And if I want to bring the whole lot back into focus, firstly I can choose what it is. It is on the brownie. I could tap on something else here, but I think the brownie would look the most effective. And now if I just gently tap on that servo AF, it turns it on and it is going to come into focus. It might take its time there as it's realizing what I've done. You can see it's going really slowly actually, because I was so out of focus there. So I could actually speed that up. Let's actually just see that maybe on a faster setting here. So let me just increase that up to say -2, and let's just do that again. So I'm going to turn off the servo. Let's whack this right out of focus. Let's switch it back on. Oh, that's a much nicer speed for it. But what if I wanted to control this myself? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the autofocus on the lens here. So there's just a switch there. And you can now see I've got it set to come up with the actual distance here. And you can see it's got here this is my focus guide, and you can switch that on if I go into the menu, into this menu here, and you can see it's got this one here again. It's the autofocus menu, and it's the 5th tab here. Has got the focus guide, choice of on or off. You can have it on, so you now get these arrows just here, so you can just see those. And then what I can do is I can focus, and as I focus, it's bringing the 2 bottom arrows together, and when they're in focus on that point goes green, and the arrows are together, and I could go the other way. So depending on which way I'm going is whether the double arrows will be on the top or the bottom. I could then choose a different subject and do that. So I could throw it right out of focus and then do it at my own pace if I want. So that's actually quite a nice little tool that you can do as well. So there you go, that's how you can do a bit of focus pulling with your EOS cameras, EOS R cameras. As I said, this is the EOS R5 Mark II, but this works on all of the others that have got video in them, which I believe is all of them. So there you are, that's how it works. So you can do it using the built-in autofocus, or you can even do it manually. Hope that was helpful. If you do like this, please do like, share and subscribe, and come back for more.